The Simpsons Arcade Game was first released on March 4th, 1991, and it's well known for not only being one of, if not the best Simpsons video game, it also has been crowned as one of the best arcade games ever. This game also has a history of never being ported to a console until 21 years later, in 2012, when it was finally brought to the Xbox Live Arcade and the PlayStation Network. Unfortunately, the game was eventually removed from both online marketplaces for unknown reasons, and has not been reinstated since. During a stroll through downtown Springfield, the Simpson family, specifically Homer, accidentally runs into Smithers, who had just robbed a jewelry store. When they collide, the jewel that he was after is knocked out of his hands and lands into Maggie's mouth. Smithers then kidnaps her to take the jewel back to Mr. Burns. Now it is up to Homer, Marge, Bart, and Lisa to chase after him and rescue Maggie. Although a bit rough, the game near perfectly emulates the style of the show. It almost looks like the game was a playable episode, for 1991 at least. The pleasing visuals would have definitely made it stand out in the arcade as well as drawing you in to play. This is your classic beat 'em up with Simpsons characters. You'll run around the screen fighting enemies of varying strength, and at the end of every level, you also fight a boss. You'll be mainly using your basic attack while occasionally finding weapons that will definitely give you an edge in battle. You also have to keep on the lookout for food items to fill up your health bar. Not to mention this game has 4-player co-op, so you can team up with friends or strangers to play alongside you. In the arcade, there were only 2 buttons and a joystick, which transfers over perfectly to an Xbox 360 controller. You use the left stick to move, while the X button is used to attack and pick up weapons or food, while the A button is used to jump. You could also do a hop attack or throw a weapon by hitting A and X together. There are 8 stages that will take you all over Springfield. You'll start off fighting in downtown, and before you know it, your quest to save Maggie will bring you to places from the show like Krusty Land, Moe's Bar, and the Springfield Nuclear Power Plant. Although the version of the game I played on did have difficulty and continue amount options, I tried to make it as similar to the arcade experience as possible by playing on normal difficulty with only 10 continues, which gave me 5 lives each. I had started with 50 lives, and by the end of the game I had only 3 continues left, which meant I only had 15 lives to spare. This shows that this game is definitely on the tougher side, and if you plan to play it, you better bring a few extra quarters. I'd say the difficulty stems from the enemy's overwhelming numbers, which will be used to corner you. As for the bosses, they're probably the hardest part of the game. They will take a lot of hits to be taken down, and if you're hit by them, you'll take about 25 to 30% of damage to your health bar. The music definitely has that early 90s sound combined with the style of The Simpsons, and it works out tremendously. There are no bad music tracks in this game, and if you have never heard any, I suggest looking up the soundtrack and giving it a listen. If I were to choose my favorite tracks, they would be the Springfield Butt, Channel 6, and Moe's Tavern. Between the fun gameplay, awesome music, and 4-player co-op, I do believe that this is not only indeed one of the best Simpsons games, but that it also deserves the title of one of the best arcade games ever made. The only unfortunate part is that the only way to play it is either to know of an arcade that has it, or buy it yourself, which obviously won't be cheap. Unless you're rich, I guess the only thing I can say is that if you see this game in an arcade, play it, because that might be the only chance at doing so. Thanks for watching.